All right, I'm live. This is the Morning Garden Show and the number one ranked garden show on YouTube, in my opinion. Well, I've been sounding the alarm for weeks now about possible seed shortages, and there will be seed shortages. Not in the sense that you think that it won't have uh, uh, a majority of the seeds that you usually grow, but they will mark up the prices dramatically because of the pandemic, and they're going to basically make sure they cover their back end numbers, make sure that they have the money they want for those seeds. I've already started shopping for my seeds, purchasing seeds, if you will, and it's just a better deal. I purchased seeds here. This is basically what I'm going to need for this upcoming spring and summer. If I purchase anything else, it'll be because I just, felt like something I want to add to my list. And so that these are seeds I'm going to be using this year. And then I got some on the backside here. See the plastic container? Those are seeds that I saved. So there will be some seeds that will be used for, my main garden, which is okra. Okra I love. Now these are seeds that used to be at Walmart. You can see here. These are the ones that they have in the back of the store. They're 50-cent seeds. Uh, you can hear that. I guess you can hear that. These are seeds that most likely are not going to be there this year. 50-cent seeds. They're not going to be there. If they are there, it would shock me. It would absolutely shock me because people are going to be grabbing everything they can because they enjoy their gardening and they love their gardening and they want to make certain that they can do it at cost. They're not going to be wanting to spend $4 and $5 or $6 and $8 for a pack of seeds, but actually the price on the seeds are starting to go up now. Now, actually going up now. I've looked through dozens of seed companies online, and I'm telling you, excuse me, they're going up in cost. A lot of private owners that are selling seeds have already, got the news, so they're jacking their prices up, and prepping for this upcoming spring and summer. So they're making sure they get the top dollar for the seeds that they have. So you're getting either less seeds for the same money, or you're getting a higher price for doing what you need to do, get those seeds in your possession. And now some of us like to grow hybrids, and the hybrids are going to, some of the newer variety of tomatoes and cucumbers, that sort of thing. Those are going to be marked way up because those seeds are, you use them once and that's it. You don't get a second crop from them identical to the fruit that you purchased. So I'm on top of it because I've already did what I need to do. If I don't buy another seed this year, I'm already set with what I've already had from past years. Those seeds, um, I've got what I needed. Tomatoes is number one on my list. I did that. I did the Cherokee tomatoes, Cherokee purple, and then I also did the other one called brandy wine. Love that tomato. Love that tomato. So those I have, but when I went back, this is what I want to tell you. Less than a week when I went back to see um, what was the count on what I purchased on one of their websites, the price had jumped already. It had already jumped, and I said to myself, "It's already starting. Already starting." So that being said, I put the word out. I've been doing it for weeks. Um, and I've been talking about you using human urine as fertilizer. I've been talking about that because that's going to be a factor. I mean, it's definitely got to be on top of my game. Um, that fertilizer works. That's the thing about it. And I've been talking to people about that for weeks now. And it's uh, an expensive fertilizer. Human urine is. It's completely free, zero. So I don't know why more people aren't using it. I know about the ick factor. The fact that it comes from urine, and people are uncomfortable in this particular country here, for the most part, when it comes to using fertilizers that come from your own body. People are kind of iffy about that. Me, not iffy at all. I know what it does. I know how fast plants grow. I know how strong plants become when you start using human urine. Um, and so that will be in my arsenal this year. I will be adding more of it to my arsenal. I'll put it that way because I've always used it. But this year, I will absolutely be adding more of it to my arsenal because it's a great fertilizer. That being said, I hope I don't run out of it. Is that possible? So, at any rate, before I end this message, I'm going to say that make sure that you grow as much as you can this year, as much as you can, because that's going to be very important as well. Because instead of saying, "Well, I'm just going to grow two plants of the cucumbers and three of the tomatoes and everything," no, grow more than that because you never know what's going to happen down the road. You never know what's going to happen with the government. You never know what's going to happen with people. um, you're going to find that it's going to be very difficult to buy quality foods because of the situation that we find ourselves in today. It's just going to be tougher. So make certain that you kind of still enjoy your garden. It's still a hobby if that's what it is to you. For me, it's a love. It's a love. It's actual love. And I love telling people what information I can give them to help them do better. Oh, hello, how you doing? All right. Let's see. Hello, just joined the live. All right, joining the live. Yes, I'm glad to see you here. I'm glad to see that you are absolutely getting into the conversation about gardening because it's such a wonderful thing. It builds you up physically with the food you grow, and it also builds you up spiritually for the experience that you learn from your gardening. You actually learn a great deal from your garden. I do. Every time I get involved in it each year, I learn something new. And so that's going to be. Now, I have this new experience where I have weeds are taking over my garden or have taken over my garden, and I'm going to have to get my garden back. Thank you for the information. I love gardening as well. New gardener. Oh, you're a new gardener. Wow. Welcome to the family. Yes. Welcome to the family. It's going to be a beautiful ride. I can tell you that already when it comes to gardening. And I know my first experience was I couldn't believe it. I said, I'm getting food from the ground. I said, and it tastes absolutely great. Um, but I had to stick with it because there were times that it was getting tough to grow things, and I was doing things that I may should not have done. Um, uh, you got to. In other words, gardening to me is like you take energy, you put it in the ground, and let me just simplify this up. I dig a hole. I put in that hole. I put compost. I put some of the native soil back, and I also put in that hole peat moss, peat moss, and I stir these ingredients up, and I put my plant in there with it, and then I water it in, and or you could use also in that mix you could also add a organic fertilizer. You could add that. Well, but me, I'm going to be using human urine this year. That's what I'll be using. It's a 1 part human urine to 10 parts water, and it does an incredible job. You do it once a week, and it's just your plants go crazy. Um, Now, plants that produce like tomatoes and excuse me, tomatoes, cucumbers, that sort of thing, uh, urine will make a bigger plant. Not necessarily creating a whole bunch of blossoms, but you'll see. You'll learn as you go along. But it's a great fertilizer. So yes, I grow some tomatoes. This flavor. Oh my God. Okay. Okay. Great. I'm glad to hear that you're getting your feet wet, so to speak, getting into it, and it's going to be a great ride. Um, Hello, how you doing there? Food Forest Permaculture. He's in the circle as well today. But I want to say this. That's another channel you can go to and get some incredible information about feeding your soil, creating beautiful soil. Because the name of the deal, I always tell people, anyone that asks me questions um, about your garden, the garden, excuse me, is that the biggest and the most important job you can do in the garden. It's going to sound kind of crazy, but it's grow soil, as opposed to people say, well, I got to grow plants. No, you grow in soil. You make the soil better each year that you garden. And the number one way of doing that, excuse me, is to add organic matter to the soil. It sounds simple, well, because it is simple. Adding organic matter to the soil is that simple. No one should ever take gardening and make it complex. If you ever find people making gardening complex, back away from that person. Don't ever listen to what they're talking about if they're making it complex. If they're making gardening complex, that's not the person, that's not the book, that's not the video you want to be getting information from, because it will confuse you and have you out there spending money that you're not supposed to be spending. And that's the name of that tune. So you don't want to be doing that. You want to absolutely make certain that you're keeping your ducats or money in your pocket, and you want to make certain that you're doing the right move. So all the leaves are falling now, and I see people raking up this beautiful black gold and then throwing it away. And leaves are just an incredible resource for the garden. Absolutely incredible. Um, and it makes for beautiful fresh tomatoes. It makes for incredible cucumbers. If you love a salad with crisp cucumbers that are incredibly supercharged with nutrients, then you want to collect leaves. You want to do that. It is very important. And don't go to the store and be buying bags of leaves that they call soil conditioner. Don't do that, because that's a waste of money, $5 and $6 per bag, when you could actually just simply grow it yourself, and that's the way you want to go. When it falls from a tree, you mound it up in a location where it's out of the way, and you will see that those leaves will become a black, pretty soil additive or amendment, if you will. Okay, make soil is the best thing you will ever do. Making soil is the best thing you ever do. Powerful words right there from the Food Fathers Permaculture. Powerful words. I had it took me years to come to that understanding when I first started gardening. I wish I'd have known that earlier, that my job was to grow soil. My job was to improve my soil, and that's what my job was. And so now I know that when I go out and put a plant in the ground, my job is to make sure, excuse me, that that soil is supercharged with organic matter, and that's what's going to make the difference. That's what's going to make the whole. That's going to make the difference right there. It's going to improve. If you have sandy soil, clay soil, if you have soil that's on the brink of almost being dead, you're going to do better when you put organic matter in that soil. You will make that soil over. You will improve that soil's strength and ability to produce. And that's the name of that tune, folks. And I have to go out there and find my garden again, because I have weeds that have taken over completely. I've never had it this bad before, where the weeds have taken over like they have. So I have these powerful garden tools, weed trimmer. I'm just sharing your, I'm just sharing your video to one group. Excellent information. Oh, thank you very much. Oh my goodness, I didn't know you could do that. But you shared the information. Oh, thank you. I didn't. I'm kind of new to the technical aspects of these computers, but I appreciate you sharing that information. Um, and people, I hope they can, they actually not only get the information, but they actually put it into use because it is it's just incredible, to take a tiny seed, put it in the ground, watch the plant, and see it grow into a huge plant with all these peppers on it, or cucumbers, tomatoes. Um, I grew some corn last year that was absolutely incredible. Oh, thank you very much. You're too kind. You're too kind. Um, and oh, by the way, do you have a gardening channel that you could tell the folks about, or I could maybe we'll check it out and see what kind of information you're putting out there, because I understand you say you were relatively into gardening, but it's always good to share. It's always good to share. But I want to know one thing, folks. Are you planning anything new this year? Are you excited? Are you is there anything that you want to share with the circle? You want to put something out there and let them know, hey, I'm planning on growing this new cucumber this year, or I'm thinking about trying my most challenging thing I think I've grown is watermelon. I mean to tell you, I live in Maryland, and it is an environment where we have a very, very short growing season. That being said, watermelons, heavy feeder, likes to be in just the right spot, because if you don't put it in the right spot, what you're going to get is a vine. You will get a vine, and the vine will just simply produce just a vine. It will not produce fruit, and before you know it, it's into the fall, and you have a vine. The other thing is pollinators. Make sure that you plant some kind of plants that will produce flowers in your location, so that you can attract butterflies and or bees. And so they come into the area and they bring in their ability to help you produce food. And that's another part of the puzzle, because I have had years where I would not put anything out there, but what was on the fencing area of my property is these vines, and every year they would produce these honeysuckles, or it would be some kind of other type of vine. I can't call the name of it at this moment, but that particular vine always had wasps and bumblebees on it or around it, and they just simply just would go into my fruit trees, and they would go right into my blueberry bushes, and that sort of thing, and it was just incredible, you know. Um, and I would just have so much fun with watching them and seeing. I actually did a video on Bill the Bee. Bill the Bee, I think his name was, and it shows slow motion and fast, you know, uh, motion photography, and just talks about what his job is, and as he goes from flower to flower, and it's just interesting video I just did. Um, and I definitely enjoy doing that. But they are. Hello, how you doing there? Hello, just entering the room. People are coming in. I have a cooking and the channel. Try to grow watermelon, but it did not. Okay, okay. You tried the watermelons as well. All right. I am going to. Uh, I'm going to check out your channel. That's what I'm going to do, because there was a lady, and she still comes into the room. Uh, the She's called, I think it's called Finance, Miss Finance, and she and I would talk sometime, and I would get information to her on how to save money and how to invest monies and that sort of thing. And just like I look at a garden as like an investment, because what you put in is what you hope to get out. And the thing about it is when I load my garden up with organic matter, or when I make fertilizer from weeds and I make it from grass, it's a wonderful thing. Chop and drop is something that I also use. It's not, in my opinion, it's not the neatest garden in the world when you do chop and drop. It's not. I mean, you chopping weeds down and they're laying on top of the surface and they're being pulled back into the ground through gravity and also through worms and the biology in the soil. And that energy you're putting back into the ground helps you to grow your food the next following year. Right now is the time of year. It's late. I think it's like late fall. Uh, but you put the food in the garden now, and just like nature does. Nature always fertilizes the soil in the fall and winter months, and then your plants reap the reward in the spring and summer. So that's always a plus there. So keep on gardening and make sure that you um, always know that you have to put something back in order to get something out. It's like a relationship. You have to put something back. If you don't, then yeah, you can't expect a whole lot out of it because uh, plants need to eat, soil needs to eat, and all you're doing is if you don't think that you're actually farming a herd, you actually are because the biology in the soil is like a herd, and you have to feed it, and you have to care for it. And if you don't care for it, then you are going to be surprised when you go to put seeds in and you're getting less tomatoes and you're getting smaller tomatoes, that sort of thing. So plan it that in that sense to say, this is my farm or this is my garden, and I have a herd of these uh, billions of forms of life that live in this soil, that this soil is alive, and your job is to farm it. And it requires making sure that the biology in the soil is well fed, that their homes are not disturbed, do as little digging as possible in your garden, as little as possible. And you will see that, hey, I'm not only just growing plants, but I got to care for the life in the soil, the worms, and all the other different forms of micro sizes or forms of life, and you just want to make certain that you are caring for it. Um, and you will see each year or each time that you put something out there in the ground that you will grow healthy, uh, 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 dense uh, vegetables loaded with nutrients, very dense with nutrients, and that's what you want to do because it's not much to try to grow things fast or big, but you want to make sure that they're loaded with. When I first fell in love with gardening, it was a my first experience was a tomato, and it was um, nothing like what's in the grocery store. In fact, I can't really go back to grocery store tomatoes. Um, they lack flavor, they lack nutrients, they lack uh, taste. So now I have, gotten into a different world where it's just incredible. It's just absolutely incredible. So on that note, folks, this is the Morning Gardener, and it is now 5:15 p.m., 5:12, excuse me, p.m. here in Maryland, and I just want to say thank each and every one of you for stopping by. This was very successful, so I want to thank you, and remember to keep on gardening, and remember where you heard the news, the Morning Gardener Show. Thank you very much, and remember to catch me on the next go round. I appreciate everything, and thank you as well, and I wish you much success. The new gardener in the room, everybody say hello, but it's going to be a great deal. I'll be back. And so I'll stop rambling on. Everybody take care and have a good day and have a positive experience in the garden. Thank you.